I was lucky enough that I sort of identified that something was going on. I spoke to a lot of people about it, and that talking and that kind of dealing with.
Prince William, known for his protective nature, has made a bold decree against Queen Camilla's grandson after he was caught bullying Prince George. However, William's bold move has left observers asking questions. Was this simply an act of protection or a sign of deeper tensions within the royal household? Join us as we unravel the details behind this unexpected royal twist. Camilla's position under threat. Camilla has successfully managed tricky and intricate relationships with the younger royals, such as Prince William and Princess Kate. According to royal biographer Christopher Anderson, Camilla saw Kate as an outsider in the royal family at first. This made Camilla feel uneasy around William and Kate. The situation got even more tricky when Prince William suggested changes to how royal duties are assigned, which could impact Camilla's position in the family. William's proposal caused a lot of disagreement because he wanted to give royal duties to younger family members like Kate and Duchess Sophie. For example, Duchess Sophie was going to replace Camilla as the patron of NPCC. Kate was also going to have more important roles at royal events. This change reduced Camilla's power in the family and caused a lot of conflict. The suggested changes were a part of a larger effort to update the monarchy and make it more important in modern society. William and Princess thought it was important for younger royals to have more duties to secure the institution's future. But Camilla saw these changes as a challenge to her power and position, making her feel even more anxious. During the Balmoral Summit, Camilla showed signs of feeling unsure about her position in the royal family after hearing William's suggestions. Despite her years of hard work and desire to be seen as queen consort, she still felt out of place among her peers and the public. Her unease was worsened by her difficult relationship with Prince Harry and other younger royals. Royal commentator Richard Fitzwilliams pointed out that Camilla's emotional reaction at the summit was due to her continued search for acceptance from the royal family. Her strong response caught people's attention, especially considering the complex relationships within the family. Some were surprised by her comments about Princess Kate, who is usually known for her grace and loyalty to royal duties. Insiders share that Kate was upset by Camilla's sudden critique, finding it hard to understand why her hard work was being doubted. Princess Anne, who has been part of the royal family for a long time, also showed surprise, highlighting the increasing disagreements within the family. Anne believes in following the traditional ways of the royal family, but also believes in moving forward and involving younger royals in determining the future of the monarchy. She was surprised by Camilla's actions, highlighting the difficulties the monarchy faces in balancing tradition with the push for modernization. These inner conflicts have shown ongoing problems within the royal family. Prince William, as the future leader of the monarchy, will now need to address these challenges. He wants to make changes to keep the monarchy relevant in a changing world. But Camilla is unsure about these changes, showing how hard it is to go through transitions. Many people agree with William's idea to make the monarchy more efficient and inclusive. People see William and Kate as good choices to lead the monarchy into the future. However, Camilla's resistance shows that the future may not be as straightforward as anticipated. William is committed to achieving his vision of a modern monarchy despite the challenges. With Princess Anne supporting Kate's presence, he is in a good position to guide the royal family through this period of change. Camilla needs to figure out how to balance her influence while adapting to the necessary changes for the monarchy to succeed in the future. It is unclear if she can maintain royal traditions while also embracing more modern viewpoints. Her responses at the Balmoral Summit indicate the royal family will face ongoing challenges in this area. Camilla's position in the monarchy will be influenced by how well she adjusts to these new dynamics. The disagreements at the Balmoral meeting show the major obstacles the royal family is currently dealing with. The choices made by important figures such as William, Kate, and Camilla will determine the future of the monarchy during this crucial period. William and Kate appear prepared to step into a significant leadership position, but Camilla's ability to handle these situations will be crucial for the institution's advancement. Supporting William's ideas and nurturing their bond could result in a stronger royal family. However, if conflicts escalate, the royal family might find it difficult to uphold their reputation and power. William's choices have a big impact on the royal family. His openness to reevaluating royal responsibilities and pushing for younger members could indicate a move towards a more contemporary monarchy. This development has dangers, particularly if it upsets long-standing members such as Camilla. How people see the situation is very important. If the public thinks William is being rude to Camilla, it could damage his reputation. As the future king, he needs to show tact and awareness, try and mix honoring customs with embracing needed adjustments. What he does will be watched closely, and any disagreements within the family could impact how the public sees the royal family. However, Camilla is not one to sit back and watch everything she has worked for crumble. What big plan might she come up with next to secure her position in the royal family? Camilla's bold move to secure her legacy. There is gossip in the palace about Queen Camilla wanting to make her family more famous in the royal spotlight. People have noticed her journey from facing public criticism to becoming queen alongside King Charles III and are wondering if there's a hidden reason behind her calm behavior. Many are now interested in her aim of ensuring a long-lasting royal position for her future generations. Camilla's family has not been closely linked to the main royal circle. Her children, Tom Parker Bowles and Laura Lopez, grew up in a different environment away from the royal residences. Nonetheless, it appears that Camilla is making efforts to change this. Now, some people who are familiar with the royal family think that Camilla is encouraging her children to participate in royal events more. Her children have been seen at gatherings with other senior family members more frequently, possibly events they had not attended before. There are discussions about potentially granting her children royal titles, indicating that Camilla may be working to enhance her public image and increase her influence as queen. Despite not being born into the royal family, Camilla's position as queen could be motivating her to pursue opportunities that seemed unattainable in the past. It's not only about her kids. People are also talking about her granddaughter, who some believe Camilla is trying to set up within the royal family. It's not just about building a relationship. It's also about looking towards the future. The little girl has been seen with Prince George at private events. Some think Camilla is trying to get closer to them now in hopes of a romantic relationship in the future. Royal families often encourage early relationships between potential partners, even at a young age. If her granddaughter marries George, Camilla's family would have a long-lasting connection to the royal family. Many people are questioning if Camilla had always intended for things to turn out this way. They are pondering whether her marriage to Charles was solely driven by love, or she had a larger agenda in mind. Her strategic actions to advance in the royal family, her skill in dealing with public criticism effortlessly, and her steadfast loyalty to the king now seem to be deliberate steps in a carefully crafted strategy. Some suspect that she might have been aiming to secure a prosperous future for her family that would last beyond her lifetime. Nonetheless, this plan may be unraveling now. After Camilla's grandson and George had a disagreement, William, who usually remains calm under pressure, seemed visibly upset. Camilla's attempt to improve her family's relationship with the royal family are now in jeopardy because of one mistake. This error has greatly impacted the future of their connection, and the situation has become very grave. Many have seen Camilla put in a lot of effort to solidify her position and provide a better future for her children. So this current predicament may seem like the end of a lengthy struggle. Her hard work to gain acceptance, respect, and become queen may not secure a bright future for her family, especially her relationship with Prince William is tense. Camilla may soon realize that even though she is close to becoming queen, the future of the royal family might not include her. However, with just one major mistake, Camilla's plan began to crumble. What do you think truly happened? The comment that cost Camilla's grandson his royal future. On a Sunday afternoon at Windsor Gardens, the royal kids were playing, and the corgis were running around for a relaxing time. The informal gathering was just for families to enjoy themselves. Prince George showed up looking sharp and calm, as he usually did. He typically stayed quiet and attentive, understanding his role as next in line to the throne at these events. But things took a turn that day when a joke took a sharp turn toward a hurtful comment, disrupting the peaceful vibe of the gathering. The mischievous boy was familiar to people as he was one of Camilla's grandsons. Despite not being a member of the royal family, He could go to specific parts of the palace because of his marriage ties. Unlike George, he grew up without the stress of royalty at home. He lived freely, played loudly, and apparently copied the way adults talked, possibly learning too much from overhearing conversations. Making fun of Prince George began as innocent, but quickly turned into more harmful bullying. He is a sensitive person who was raised with strong values, so the mean words hurt him deeply. The bullies made fun of his future as a royal, and even mentioned his late grandmother. The teasing was not random. It seemed deliberate and targeted, affecting Prince George. When he got home, he did not cry in front of others like he usually doesn't. His mother, Princess Catherine, sensed that something was amiss from George's red eyes, sluggish movements, and quiet demeanor. When she inquired about what had transpired, George candidly recounted the hurtful words, insults, and ridicule he had endured. The young prince felt incredibly diminished by the experience. This incident marked a significant turning point for him. Kate, usually composed, was visibly furious. William, known for a protective and proud nature, was profoundly impacted by the situation. There were no raised voices or public declarations. Prince William made a quick and quiet decision that had a big effect on the royal family. Camilla's grandson, who was once considered for special roles, was suddenly left out. He lost all titles, roles, and invitations. This wasn't just a warning. It was the end of his royal life. People in the palace started talking right away. Some were happy about the decision, while others were shocked. Many people were worried about Camilla's attempts to elevate her family status. She had been striving to obtain small titles, advocating for schools to be located close to royalty, and proposing ceremonial roles. While it appeared harmless at first glance, some believed it was too much too soon. Her efforts had now stalled. King Charles, who had organized a meeting to reconcile old conflicts, remained silent. His silence spoke volumes. Torn between his wife and son, he chose to stay neutral. According to sources, Camilla was very angry. Her private plans were stopped publicly, but not officially. The close bond she had created was now broken. The public witnessed it all and knew what was going on. While no official announcements were made, observers noticed that some children were absent from family gatherings. The smiles appeared forced, and the seating arrangements were different. People are always interested in what's happening with the royal family. The family trip, which was supposed to be a normal day with messy food, fun kids, and happy grandparents, took a turn. It became the day when Prince George was not only looked after, but also supported. It was a day when a line was drawn in the sand, even though it was done quietly. The usual royal family did something unusual and contemporary by choosing to prioritize emotional fairness over quietly tolerating things. This choice led to a small but meaningful shift within a royal family. Even though royal children may appear happy and attend fancy events, they can still experience emotional pain. In such situations, parents take action to help their children. A Sunday gathering intended to foster harmony ended up causing conflict. At the heart of the situation was a young boy who, although not yet a king, was beginning to understand the duties that come with being royal. Prince George's tears sparked a royal reckoning. In the middle of the afternoon, the sun was shining brightly, making the wide green gardens look beautiful. Families were enjoying themselves with the sound of laughter, music, and the smell of fresh cakes in the air. Parents were relaxing under a white tent, having tea and chatting. The children were playing nearby, being watched, but mostly free to play and have fun. The event was meant to be a peaceful gathering filled with elegance and traditional customs. But then a surprising event occurred. What began as an enjoyable afternoon took a dark turn. At first, it was just a friendly football game with some pushing and raised voices. It appeared harmless initially, but then Camilla's eldest grandchild started targeting George, making cruel remarks about his walk, acting superior, and ridiculing his clothing. These words were hurtful and hostile. Despite being just 11 years old, Prince George knew how to stay calm in public. But this behavior felt targeted and mean-spirited. The insults went beyond just making fun of how he looked or his status as a prince. They became more hurtful and bothered him. When George tried to walk away, they kept following him, mocking his skills and sarcastically calling him special. The words that stung the most were when they called him a mama's boy, especially because his grandmother was Princess Diana. The staff quickly stepped in, separating the kids and quietly taking George to a car with a bodyguard to avoid any cameras catching what happened. Even though George received help in a calm and cautious manner, the harm had already been done as he sat in the car, silently crying. The atmosphere inside the tent seemed normal at first. Camilla continued talking to guests as if nothing had occurred, or she may have purposely been keeping her distance. However, Catherine detected that something was not right. She observed that Camilla's smile seemed forced and her grip on Princess Charlotte's hand was tighter than usual. After the event was over and they returned to Adelaide Cottage, Catherine took matters into her hands. She had a personal discussion with George, just the two of them, without any staff or interruptions. Only as a mother and son, she requested that he tell her everything. At first, George was hesitant. However, he eventually began to open up. He shared with her about the cruel jokes, insults, ridicule his father, and hurtful remarks about Diana. Catherine carefully listened to George's words, and as she heard more, she became more serious. Her face went from calm to determined, showing a strong sense of protectiveness. It was a quiet but forceful kind of anger, like a mother's strength. She firmly stated that it must end now. Catherine had always followed the rules and supported the monarchy faithfully. Even in difficult situations, she remained optimistic. However, she had finally reached her limit. She chose to be truthful and openly express her emotions. Catherine had a deep conversation with William, which was a very emotional and intense moment for both of them. They had an honest discussion without shouting or getting angry. Catherine stayed calm and collected, not crying or pleading, but she made it clear that their son had been hurt, and she was determined to prevent it from happening again in their family, particularly by those they trusted. She compared William to Diana, emphasizing how the rigid rules and pressures of royal life had failed Diana, causing long-term suffering. Catherine expressed her determination to avoid the same mistakes and encouraged William to embrace his role as the future king. William listened and understood. He saw his son not just as a future monarch, but as a vulnerable child who deserved to feel safe and supported both in the palace and within the family. Later that evening, the mood in their house was peaceful, yet emotional. George went to bed early, still teary-eyed. Catherine and William were in the same room, sitting close to each other, but silently. They had talked a lot, but there was a silent understanding beyond words. Something had changed. Ensuring George's safety now meant more than just having security measures in place. It meant speaking out against cruelty, especially from people close to him. Catherine was not okay with keeping quiet. She did not like how adults forced their opinions on kids. She did not want her son to handle these pressures on his own. She was ready to establish rules and limits, but how would she defend her son? Keep on watching to find out more. The silent rebellion behind palace walls. The next day, Kate decided to cancel all her scheduled meetings. Instead, she opted to stay at home with her children, George and Charlotte. It wasn't just about taking a break. It was a quiet way of showing disapproval. In private, she made it clear that she wanted everything to be written down. Kate did not want the situation to be overlooked or changed. She wanted it to be recorded correctly. One day, King Charles's personal assistant got a short message informing them of an incident involving Prince George. The Prince and Princess of Wales requested a private meeting with the king, which happened the next day. King Charles listened closely and seemed concerned. Queen Camilla downplayed the situation as childish arguing. When asked about consequences for her grandson, she laughed and said, "They're just children who will forget about it soon." Kate did not need to argue because her silence, serious expression, and holding George's hand said it all. Without support, the effects of these challenges can be traumatic, leading to serious issues such as anxiety, depression, addiction. She wasn't only defending royal titles or duties anymore. She was a mother looking out for her son. Prince William had always tried to honor his father and fulfill his royal responsibilities, all while remembering his mother, Princess Diana. But this situation was different. This time it was about his child, and William was determined to speak up. The day after meeting the king, William returned to Kensington Palace. He called his key team together and paced around his study before making a firm statement. He mentioned that Camilla's grandson will not be given a royal title without consulting others first. Camilla had been gradually showcasing her children and grandchildren to the public eye in hopes of gaining attention and power for them. Although many did not pay much attention to her actions, William did. When George was injured and Camilla brushed it off, William understood that it was all part of her strategy to ensure a successful future for her family within the monarchy. William was determined to prevent the boy who hurt George from getting away with it. He believed that the boy represented all the negative aspects of Camilla's attempts to gain more power, quietly by using her close relationship with the king to manipulate royal customs, showing favoritism, and attempting to alter the path of the monarchy. William had made up his mind about this matter. It was not just a professional issue for him, but a personal one as well. When their son was harmed, Kate and William decided not to make a public spectacle out of it, but privately within the palace walls, they conveyed the message that this incident was deeply personal to them. Both William and I have seen that many young people are struggling to cope with the impact of bullying, bereavement, domestic violence, family breakdown, and more. Given Prince William's protective nature, how would he respond to such a threat? William's quiet but firm decree. Prince William was known for being calm and dependable, especially in tough situations. But when it came to his children, he was fiercely protective. After I had my own children, I think the relation between the job and the personal life was what really took me over the edge, and I started feeling things. He made it known to the palace that his kids' safety and happiness came first, even above royal customs and togetherness. This wasn't something he announced publicly, but rather a choice he made privately within the palace. The decision had a big impact. William informed his trusted advisors that Camilla's grandson was no longer allowed at royal gatherings where his children were present. William stated that Camilla's grandson is not allowed to be present at birthdays, holidays, or trooping the color rehearsals if William's children are also there. He was unwavering in his decision and did not want any discussion about it. When someone suggested that an apology from Camilla's side could resolve the issue, William firmly stated that what his son needed was protection, not an apology. This news quickly spread among members of the royal family. King Charles, who was hoping for a peaceful resolution, was taken aback by William's decision. He walked back and forth in his home office, attempting to grasp the gravity of his son's choice. This was not the usual behavior he saw from William, who usually sought harmony. However, William had established a firm limit that he refused to budge on. It was not just a family dispute. It ran much deeper. William wasn't just protecting his kids from outside influences, but also redefining what royal privilege means in modern society. He believed that titles and invitations should not be handed out solely based on connections. In his opinion, they should be earned through actions, respect, and especially honor. He felt that line had been crossed. Over at Clarence's house, Camilla was taken aback when she learned the news. Her emotions shifted from disbelief to anger. She had been putting in the effort for a long time to secure a position in the royal circle for her children and grandchildren, even if it was a minor one, quietly attending events and securing invitations, all with a specific goal in mind. She wanted her family's name to be remembered in royal history, not just a minor detail. William shattered her dream with one decision. It felt like he was not only rejecting her grandson, but also all her achievements. She trembled as she set her tea aside, the bitterness of the situation overtaking the flavor in her cup. It seemed like punishment to her rather than justice. However, William did not want payback. Instead, he aimed to make a lasting impression. He wanted to establish firm rules to protect his children and respect their late mother. This showed that even though he is royalty, he values being a father to his children the most. In a world where royal responsibilities usually require keeping quiet and making sacrifices, Prince William made a strong decision to prioritize his children's safety over following tradition. Camilla and William at odds over family. Camilla stormed into King Charles's study without knocking. She looked upset, clutching a letter and speaking loudly, which was unusual for her. The letter from William had shocked her at first, but now she just felt betrayed. She said that he had made them feel ashamed and that he had made her feel humiliated. She added that they were talking about a young person. However, Charles did not want to argue on that day. He looked older and tired. The duties of leadership were burdening him. He listened carefully to her, and even somewhat agreed. He felt sorry for her suffering, but he also thought about the bigger picture. William wasn't just acting as a son. He was getting ready for his future as king. Charles, who had dealt with doubts and rumors during his time as ruler, understood that he couldn't have a disagreement with his successor. Wanted to be confronted by my future grandchild, saying, "Why didn't you do something so clearly now that theirs will have a grand?" He assured Camilla that he wouldn't oppose someone who was looking out for their family, because they deserved respect. Camilla immediately turned pale and left without saying anything, slamming the door. The staff was shocked to see the normally calm queen consort lose her temper. She decided to cancel a public event later, claiming she had a headache that no one believed. Rumors spread that she did not mention William's name during dinner and sat in silence, giving off a cold vibe. Camilla's anger seemed to become quiet instead of going away. Those close to her could tell that she felt like something had shifted permanently. She had always aimed to be smart, patient, and flexible. Now she no longer saw William as her stepson. Instead, she considered him a rival. To make matters worse, she had a troubling realization. William not only won the current situation, but also had control over the future. The incident that sparked everything was initially private, but it quickly became public knowledge, causing shock among people. During a family event, Camilla's grandson and Prince George had a negative interaction where George was ridiculed. While it wasn't a physical altercation, it still had an impact. At first, there were rumors and attention-grabbing headlines in the media, but eventually the real story was revealed. The controversial headline was about Prince George being insulted by his step-relatives. In response, William decided to remove a title and took action which was based on personal reasons rather than political ones. The public reacted swiftly to the news. Social media was abuzz with discussions, and royal forums showed support for William and George. People were urging others to protect the boy and talking about how Diana would have been proud. The similarities between the past and present situations were hard to miss. Camilla was once blamed for causing problems in the royal family, and now her grandson had done something controversial, leading to consequences for Diana's grandson. The phrase Team George started to gain popularity. Artists began drawing pictures of George wearing a little crown and appearing self-assured. Many people looked up to the young prince for his perceived innocence, bravery, and compassion. One comment that stood out was about George showing royal qualities even at a young age. This has nothing to do with his family background, but with his behavior. Experts also gave their views on this. A former royal press secretary said it was a big moment for William as he was more focused on his son than on media attention. This struck a chord with many people who saw a new side of the palace. The argument was not just about what was said, but also about deep beliefs, protecting family, and showing loyalty. At that moment, the people could see where they stood. They supported George and William, not the secrets and conflicts in the palace. But what is Camilla trying to prevent by pulling off this trick? Camilla left behind in monarchy's bold new direction. The royal family announced a new plan that shows a big change in what they consider most important. This has caused surprise and discussion. The biggest issue is that Queen Camilla will not play a major role in the new plan. The goal of the plan is to modernize the monarchy and focus on the younger generation, especially Prince William and Princess Kate. Prince William, who is next in line to the throne, spoke about the changes in a well-thought-out statement. His words made it clear that the plan is focused on modernizing the monarchy. William emphasized the importance of looking ahead and having an effective monarchy. He mentioned the plan reflects their dedication to the future and to adapting to current values. William did not mention Camilla, which raised questions about her future role in the monarchy. This plan to restructure the royal family marks a significant change as it aims to make the operations more efficient by decreasing the number of working royals, saving money, and focusing on those in direct line to the throne. As a result, individuals like Queen Camilla, who is a consort through marriage to King Charles III and not directly involved in shaping the monarchy's future, will be less prominent in the plan. In this new setup, Camilla's responsibilities seem to be reduced with more focus on William Kate, and their kids. This change shows a preference for youth connection and contemporary values, which William and Kate represent. But for Camilla, this is a setback personally and professionally. Traditionally, as queen consort, she supported the monarch and represented the crown publicly. The new plan shows a shift away from old-fashioned roles, leaving less space for Camilla's input. The royal family's restructuring has exposed ongoing tensions among its members. King Charles has been trying to boost Camilla's position, but William has a different idea for a modern monarchy. This disagreement brings up concerns about power dynamics within the family and how it could affect their relationships. In public statements, William was cautious yet resolute, presenting the restructuring as a crucial move for modernizing the monarchy. He avoided criticizing Camilla directly by presenting the changes as practical rather than personal. However, his lack of mention of her contribution says a lot for Camilla. This has significant implications. Being left out of plans that shape the monarchy's future reduces her impact and presence. It also makes people wonder about her legacy, especially considering the extensive effort she has put in for years to become part of the royal family and gain public approval. The exclusion of Camilla indicates that preference is being given to younger members of the royal family who are closer in line to the throne. This leaves Camilla with a less prominent role. The decision also highlights the increasing power of Prince William and Kate within the royal family. They are establishing themselves and their children as central figures in the royal restructuring, securing their position as the future of the monarchy. Meanwhile, Camilla is being pushed further into the background, which is tough considering her long history of service and attempts to establish a significant role within the royal framework. Throughout history, queen consorts have been important in helping the ruling monarch, but their impact usually decreases after their partners rule. By not emphasizing Camilla, William is showing the importance of the monarchy's future direction. The main focus is now on sustainability, contemporary beliefs, and the direct line of succession. The consequences of this plan for the royal family are significant as it unfolds. Camilla is facing a challenge in maintaining her dignity and finding her role in a family that is progressing without her. Her lack of involvement in important roles is a significant moment for both her and the royal family. However, this is not the first time Prince William has restricted someone from their role, and it has happened before to Camilla's sister. Camilla's sister ousted in this shakeup. Prince William, who is now the Duke of Cornwall, has made a big change within the Duchy of Cornwall by separating from Annabel Elliot, who is the younger sister of Queen Camilla. Elliot is an experienced interior designer who has worked with the royal family for a long time, and she has played an important role in the Duchy for over 20 years. Her leaving shows that Prince William is taking the Duchy in a new direction as he works to update the estate that has been around for centuries. Elliot received lots of compliments for her work in the Duchy. She was instrumental in turning old buildings in the Duchy into fancy vacation homes and rental properties in Cornwall, Wales, and the Isles of Scilly. These projects not only saved historical buildings, but also increased the Duchy's income. Elliot's attention to detail and great sense of style made the properties appealing to tourists, successfully combining tradition with contemporary comfort. Elliot was involved in various aspects of managing the estate beyond the cottages. She helped with the restoration and design of Dumfries House in Scotland, which now serves as a 20-bedroom historic property for hospitality. Elliot also played a role in overseeing estate office spaces and supporting the plant nursery that supplies greenery to Duchy properties. Her work was seen as valuable in maintaining the sustainability and visual attractiveness of the estate's assets. Despite being highly valued for her professionalism and taste, Elliot was not officially a staff member. She worked on a commercial basis and was paid between £19,625 and £82,272 per year for her various projects. Additionally, she was reimbursed for inventory and furniture expenses. However, the latest financial report from the Duchy showed that Elliot did not receive any payment for her services in the fiscal year 2023 to 2024. This was the first time in more than 20 years that she went without being paid for her work. While the official reason for ending Elliot's engagement is not related to her performance, the timing of the decision has caused suspicion. Some believe that her close family connection to Queen Camilla may have played a role in the decision. Elliot has always had a strong bond with her sister and has been quietly involved in royal circles for a long time. Her previous trusted position within the Dush has added credibility to the rumors about changes and shifts within the royal household. Those who know Prince Charles say that he is trying to make the Dush more modern and professionally run. Prince William wants the Dush to be innovative, effective, and open in its management. His team is reportedly looking into old partnerships and agreements to make sure they fit with these new goals. Elliot leaving the Dush seems to show that William wants to run things his way instead of sticking with old ways from his father, King Charles III, who managed the Dush before becoming king. The financial reports that were made public when Elliot left provide a clear comparison. Elliot did not receive any payments that year, but Prince William reportedly made around $30 million from the Dush in 2023. The Dush, which was created in 1337 by King Edward III to generate income for the next heir, covers about 137,000 acres of land in southern England and other areas. The money made by the Dush helps the prince and his family financially, and its profits have been increasing under his management. Royal observers see Elliot leaving as a symbolic moment that shows William's commitment to efficiency and modernization, even if it means making tough decisions regarding long-established royal connections. A new era for the royal family. A new chapter is starting at the palace, where feelings matter more than one's position. Changes were occurring swiftly inside the palace walls. Camilla, who was once doubted by the public, was slowly gaining acceptance. She tried to be approachable and kind, and people were beginning to like her. More smiles were seen, media coverage turned more favorable, and her image was getting better. But everything began to fall apart. Suddenly, an unexpected personal event took place that surprised everyone, causing the public's focus to move away from her. The attention shifted to Prince William and Princess Kate, who were already popular for being calm and modern in carrying out their royal duties. They gained even more respect when their son got hurt. Even though they kept the details private, their choice to speak up for their child had a big influence. They demonstrated to everyone that despite their royal titles and formal positions, their main focus was on being a family. Kate, well known for her grace and style, was now seen in a new light, as a mother willing to protect her children with great strength. Individuals all over the country felt a connection to her and expressed their thoughts by writing letters to her. Some praised her bravery, while others offered words of support. A handful of these letters even brought Kate to tears. She was comforted by the fact that the entire country supported her. Even in the palace, where some people prefer to stay neutral, there was a growing subtle show of support. The elder staff members who had worked with Princess Diana before noticed similarities between William's actions and Diana's strong love for her children. These experienced and careful staff members supported William's decision, understanding that it was not about creating conflict, but about doing what was morally correct. When a child is suffering, traditions and norms can be disregarded. A heartwarming moment occurred on a calm Sunday when William, Kate, and two of their kids, George and Charlotte, went to church. There were not many people outside, but they expressed their approval by clapping softly when the family arrived. It was a simple yet sincere show of admiration. Kate said something quietly to her son, and although the cameras did not catch the words, her affection was clear in her eyes. It was a special moment when you could sense the emotion even though no one was speaking. The royal family has gone through many personal struggles in the past, but they usually handle them privately. This situation was different because it was about protecting a child, not related to politics or the media. William and Kate chose to talk about it publicly instead of keeping it to themselves. They did not break any rules or cause any arguments. They simply shared information, and the public was interested. On the other hand, Camilla faced a more subtle issue. The efforts she had made to improve the public's perception of her were beginning to fade. People began to question if she was prioritizing her family over other responsibilities. Her grandson, once believed to have a significant role in the royal family's future, now appeared to be veering away from that path. There was no specific event that led to this change. No scandals or political controversies, simply a shift in public perception. When a person is truly kind and sincere, it is noticeable, though it may make others feel overlooked. This was not a contest for power, but rather a display of emotions without hesitation. William and Kate displayed genuine emotions like love, sadness, and bravery, which resonated with the public. Relation between the job and the personal life was what really took me over the edge. And I started feeling things that I've never felt before. And in return, the public offered their backing. The main idea is straightforward. Having a fancy title is insignificant. Trust and respect must be gained through actions. People want leaders who are truthful, compassionate, and resilient. This event was a major milestone, demonstrating that strength doesn't always involve being vocal, and positive change should begin with speaking out against injustice. The royal family is shifting their focus towards honesty and love, rather than remaining silent and holding on to tradition. While the crown may seem significant, it is ultimately the individuals in power who shape decisions. Prince William and Kate have established guidelines for their children and Camilla's grandchildren, making sure that a similar situation does not happen again. What are your thoughts on Prince William's decision? Was it the right move? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Before you go, click on the video displayed on your screen.